Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you what I think is possibly one of Queensland's biggest hidden gems, Great Keppel Island. When beginning the planning for our road trip up the Queensland coastline, we really had this grand vision of island hopping all the way along the coast, until we realized that most of the different reef islands, they were privately owned by resorts charging upwards of $1,000 a night to stay in, or they required four-wheel drive access permits costing over $500 a day. Considering that we'd only spent about 3,000 Australian dollars total for 2 months hire of the camper van, these costs weren't really in our budget. So we dove into researching some affordable island getaways, and we ultimately settled on Great Keppel Island. Now, we picked this island for a number of different reasons. Firstly, it was super accessible and cheaper than some of the other options to get to, both for ferry prices in getting there and also in accommodation as well. Now, secondly, the images that we've seen of this island online looked amazing and had this great reputation for snorkeling as well. Now, Great Keppel Island is part of the Keppel Islands Change, located off the coast of the town of Yeppoon. It's about 45 kilometers or 28 miles from the town of Rockhampton. Now, Yeppoon is a great little beach town to spend a night around first to get yourself settled in the area, get stocked up on what you need, and I'll give you a bit more information about that later. But from Yeppoon, you make your way around the headland to Roslyn, where you'll find Keppel Bay Marina. Now from here, this is where the ferry leaves from to make up the 40-minute journey from the marina over to Great Keppel Island. Now you notice that this is a car-free ferry. There's no vehicle access on the island for visitors. Now upon arrival, it becomes apparent how simple and basic the infrastructure of this island really is. It provided us with a bit of joyful comfort, and it reminded me very much of some of the Southeast Asian islands we've visited in recent years. Now, we were blown away by the beauty of some of the beaches here and how clean and amazingly clear the water was. While the island provides a variety of options such as diving and kayaking as well, our main goal was to snorkel around some of the offshore reefs here. Now, our favorite by far was a place called Monkey Beach, which is accessible by a walk up over the headland through the middle of the island. Now, we decided to stay overnight on the island to get the most out of the experience there, with so many different things to see and do. And accommodation options, they're fairly simple, fairly basic, but it does make it an affordable experience. Now, we stayed at a place called the Great Keppel Island Hideaway. We got an air-conditioned room just back inland from the beach with shared bathroom access. Now, while there are a few nice features such as the beach-facing restaurant and the bar, one of the real keys for us was the self-access kitchen facilities. Now, with such limited options on the island, the ability to bring your own food to cook in the communal kitchen area was a massive money saver for us across the course of the 2 days we were there. There was multiple fridge and freezer areas and tons of different cooking equipment for you. There's also a Coles grocery store in the town of Yeppoon, so we got everything we need and actually brought it over in a suitcase on the way over. It was a real frugal game changer, which we massively appreciated. Now, a few important tips and things that we learned leading up and through the time we were there. Great Keppel Island is an absolute must for visiting if you are passing through this area, and it's so unique that it's one of the rare islands that remains relatively underdeveloped in this part of the country. That being said, there are a few things that we would recommend based on the experiences that we had there. Firstly, bring good walking shoes. This is really important. If you don't want to pay money for kayak rentals or boat ferries to the various beaches around the island, your free option is to walk up and over the inland areas. Now these are steep inclines through the middle of the island. It's generally pretty hot, pretty dry, and good walking shoes will make all of the difference here. Our flip-flops just didn't really cut it at all. The second thing I'd say, and it should be a pretty self-explanatory one, is bug spray. There were quite a few mosquitoes and other flying insects around, particularly on the walkways, and this, along with sunscreen, would be a must-pack item. Now another one to weigh up bringing is also your own snorkeling equipment. We bought ours in advance, and even if we just use it for this one trip alone, it was cheaper buying it than actually hiring the limited equipment on the island. So just another tip there for you. Also, one of the biggest regrets that we had was not actually having a waterproof case for our GoPro for this leg of our Queensland journey. The snorkeling here was the best we had across the whole 2 months of traveling up the Queensland coast, and while we were there, what we saw inspired us to go and buy a waterproof case after, but we wish we did have one there. Particularly the snorkeling off the reef at Monkey Beach, we saw hundreds of different fish, different species, and we also got to swim next to 2 massive giant turtles as well. So one of the biggest regrets was not having that waterproof camera to be able to document it. So there you go. We went into this island experience with no real expectations, and we were just blown away by how amazing it was. Honestly, we never even heard of this island when we were planning out our trip, and it turned out to be one of the massive highlights across the whole 2 months we were traveling. A huge recommendation to anyone passing through the area. It's a bit of a detour off the coast, but it's absolutely worthwhile. Now, if you need any more information, just let me know in the comments below and I'll be happy to help you out as best as I can. And thanks for watching, everyone.